Hello and welcome back on Primetime Watchmaking in the news, and we have plenty of surprises for you after this nice little summer break, but I seriously don't know if we can call it a proper break. Quite a lot has happened on the watchmaking planet in the recent weeks, whether on the general business side of things, but also quite a lot of new product launches, but also on our side because our 7th anniversary also marks a pretty important step for us. Again, can't thank enough the great people supporting us on Patreon. You really make a huge difference, and we too now want to make a significant difference. So you've known us with this background since a few years now. We'll keep it for a few videos to come, but no, it's no magic. It's just a green screen, as you can see. So we've been moving part of our installation from our Watches TV house to a new facility in the Old Town of Geneva. This is part of this serious evolution I was referring to, so off we go. And welcome to our new location in the historic part of Geneva. From now on, most of our videos will be shot from this new place, but as you can expect, it goes way beyond just a new office or shooting studio, since we are now on the verge of formally introducing TheWATCHES.club. You can't imagine how proud we are having this fantastic community of watchmaking lovers following us on YouTube, Instagram, and obviously our website. How much we love this digital interaction, not only the number of views, but most importantly, all this great commenting and sharing that is going on. So thanks so much, you are simply fantastic, and it's very inspiring for us to push harder. So the time has come to take this community to the next level, thus TheWATCHES.club, and this space actually symbolizes this today. So can you imagine that here in Switzerland, heart of watchmaking, well, there are no such space, and the goal for us is to offer a place where collectors and watchmaking enthusiasts will be able to meet and share our common passion. I mean, we'll organize meetings, small conferences with some of the very cool guys you see in our videos, but we'll also use this to shoot debates and talks between fellow colleagues and other experts. Well, the general idea is to take the level of interaction a step further, and I'll come back in the very near future with more details about the TheWATCHES.club. But if I summarize it very briefly, well, we'll naturally pursue with our video coverage. That's really the core of our activity and who we are. And there is still so much to say and cover, but we'll also develop the boutique dimension with special goodies that you won't be able to find anywhere else. And of course, this watch tripping dimension, where the goal is to take you along for some watchmaking adventure and share great times together. So ultimately, and to be totally transparent with you, I mean, the goal of all this is also to help us finance our video activity and produce more and better reports about what we love. So anyhow, more to come soon, and for the time being, welcome here at the club. This really represents an exciting step forward for us. It's a nice 7th anniversary present, and now more than ever, viva watchmaking, and let's talk watches and other news. Quickly wanted to come back on the big news of the summer with the withdrawal of the entire Swatch group from Baselworld, and if I go by the pretty significant number of views our special video got and is still getting, well, I can definitely see that this is something that got a lot of people interested. Since the big news announced in late July, there has not been any signs that Swatch would come back on its decision, and we are therefore talking 18 brands that won't be at next year's venue, and some other brands might also join the move, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because I sincerely think that the organizers are taking pretty sound options on the evolution of the event, though it might already be a little bit too late. So 2019 really needs to be one heck of an edition to convince everyone of staying, and very importantly, and as your many comments indicate, you guys, I mean the public, to come and visit. Again, it's not only the organizers' fault that the show is in such a situation, mostly of course, but as many of you pointed out, the level of interaction was pretty frustrating considering the price of coming, staying, eating and so forth. So anyhow, we will follow up on this and get back to you with the latest, and thanks so much for your super valuable input and comments. That was really interesting. Okay, let's now talk about more fun stuff, and let's talk about the main product launches of the summer. And there has been a few, that's cool, and let's start with the UFO launched by Richard Mille, the RM25-01 Tourbillon Adventure Sylvester Stallone, a pretty crazy timepiece for guys with rather large wrists. I mean, the watch presents a diameter of approximately 51 millimeter and features a 24-hour indicator dial, an improved chronograph movement with extensive use of titanium components, and the adventure part of this watch mainly resides in its bold look with a pretty cool titanium compass add-on module that you clip on the bezel, a level indicator to be sure your compass is flat when reading it, but also a small hermetic receptacle where you can stash a water purification tablet, or maybe for some other diamond-shaped blue tablets. Always thought watchmakers should have thought of this a little bit earlier. I mean, there's a market for that, I'm sure. Anyhow, this watch is naturally another great example of Richard Mille's take on very high-end watchmaking. I like the audacity, and the most crazy part is its price tag set around $1 million US. Yeah, you heard me right. And the even crazier part is that you can be pretty sure that all 20 pieces of this limited edition have already all been sold. So crazy world, something which kind of makes me think about the new Bugatti supercar, the Divo, limited to 40 cars, price tag not far from $6 million US, and all got sold. So yes, we really live in a crazy world, and I wonder if Parmigiani Fleurier will be able to match this supercar with a special piece, since they have this partnership with the brand. Okay, let's continue with more launches, more reasonable ones, as Nomos, the German watch brand, which is really encountering great success based on good value for money. Yes, it exists. Well, to celebrate the 100th year of the Bauhaus movement, something obviously very dear to the brand with its own very efficient and minimalistic design, well, they've just introduced a limited edition of one of their most iconic model, the Tangente, the Tangante. I mean, so this limited watch comes in 3 colors, blue, red and yellow, in 3 different sizes, 33, 35 and 38 millimeters. 100 pieces produced for each combination, meaning a total of 900 pieces, and the price varies depending on sizes from approximately $1,700, $1,800 and $1,900 for the larger models. So really not bad, considering that this watch is powered by the brand's Alpha manual winding movement with a power reserve of 43 hours. It looks pretty cool and will for sure still be a classic in 20 years. Okay, next, and let's talk about Omega, who released a new denim version of its Railmaster, a collection successfully relaunched quite recently. I mean, the objective with this watch was to put forward the industrial parts of this collection, as it was originally developed for workers faced with pretty significant magnetic fields, especially rail workers, thus the name. So this watch is decently priced, around $5,000 US for the metal bracelet, slightly less if you go with the matching denim strap version. So I quite like this blue, I mean, vertical brush dial, and it logically holds the Meter's certified master chronometer caliber 8806, anti-magnetic up to 15,000 Gauss. Jaquet Droz introduced a new version of its Grande Seconde with a skeleton version, and it's the first time that the brand has gone down this route. I mean, we generally know more Jaquet Droz for its classical design, its automaton watches, and really fine examples of métier d'art. So it is a small revolution for the brand to come up with this new timepiece called the Grande Seconde Skelet 1. And I really think it looks pretty nice and very modern for sure, with these, I mean, nicely shaped bridges, sapphire crystal dials. And personally, I really like this kind of largely cut out rotor, which lets you see clearly the encased 2663 SQ caliber. So this 41mm timepiece comes in 3 versions, red or white gold with Roman numerals, that's $33,600 US, or even a more modern ceramic version, and this time with polished gold hour marker priced at $24,000 US. But Jaquet Droz didn't stop there, as they also introduced 4 new versions of the Grande Seconde Moon, including a rather intense Aventurine model, but also gold and steel versions. I mean, though these watches are a bit more classical looking, I nevertheless also think that these watches have a touch of modern feel to them. I like it, actually, really like Jaquet Droz in general. So let's now make a pause from wristwatches and talk about one of those fantastic table clocks MB&F and L'Epée have accustomed to over the years, such as this really cool and fantastic Balthazar sitting here at the Watches Club. Just love this robot. Well, MB&F and L'Epée have done it again, and they've just come up with a really super cool tank/transformer inspired clock called Grant. This clock comes with 8 days of power reserve and in 3 versions, black, blue and silver, each one limited to 50 pieces, and the price is set at approximately $25,000 US. Okay, I know it may sound like a lot of money, but when you see how these clocks are produced, I mean, the level of details and finishing that goes into them, well, you seriously understand the price, especially the small quantities we're talking of. I mean, if you compare it with other mass-produced objects. projects. Okay, let's go back to skeleton watches and talk about a brand we never talked on the Watches TV, Christopher Ward. I mean, this is a British brand using Swiss movements who have launched their first watches in 2005. And to mark the 5th anniversary of the launch of the brand's very own movement, the SH21, they came out with a skeletonized version called the C7 Apex, limited to 50 pieces. The thing that is pretty interesting about this brand is the price of their models, because for instance, with this limited edition, well, the price is set at approximately $3,500 US, and for an in-house movement, COSC certified with a power reserve of 5 days, thanks to its twin barrels, not bad. I mean, the design will please some and not others. Again, this is quite subjective, but the level of finishing for this price is seriously more than decent. I mean, the quality of the packaging is something we can see with much higher position type of brands. And I definitely think I will look more into some of other models of this brand, but in general, I really hope actually that we'll be able to look a bit more into these kind of brands in the future and expand slightly our coverage. Okay, and yet another sign that online sales is definitely developing nicely, as TAG Heuer just launched a full carbon version of his Aqua Racer, coming with different color options, but these new watches will only be available in TAG boutiques, okay, but online also. So, you see? Well, next watch is a bit more traditional and concerns FP Journe, and this is not a new timepiece per se, but a new interpretation of the spectacular tourbillon souverain with fully engraved dial and deadbeat second called the Régence circulaire, in reference to motifs used during the French Régence periods of the 18th century. So yes, I mean, a really spectacular timepiece for sure. I mean, really something beautiful, classical, with a real identity. Let's now talk about Ulysse Nardin, who just introduced a pretty daring design timepiece called the Executive Tourbillon Freewheel. And by simply looking at it, I mean, you clearly understand what this freewheel thing is all about, with these kind of floating gear trains and other components, including the tourbillon itself and the power reserve indicator found at 4 o'clock. So this 44mm watch comes into two versions, rose or white gold, features 7 days of power reserve, and I quite like the sapphire glass box, which really makes all these mechanical components really stand out and apparent on the dial side. Both of these versions are just short of $100,000 US, but there's a bit more news regarding Ulysse Nardin, as its new CEO, Mr. Patrick Prugnot, who took office precisely 1 year ago, well, it has just been announced that he will also oversee the destiny of Girard-Perregaux, the brand which also belongs to the Kering Group, and I guess we will see more synergies being pulled between the two brands in the future, not in terms of design, but in terms of manufacturing capabilities and expertise, as well as on the marketing and commercial side. So this leads me to the business news side of this prime time, and let's say that the first semester has apparently been pretty positive for the Swiss industry, with a 11% increase of export figures compared to the same period of last year. We know that some brands are really fully living these prosperous moments, and when you hear how difficult it has become to get a hold of a steel Rolex nowadays, or some Pateks and APs, well, it just proves that some brands are hotter than others. But will these good numbers be confirmed over the second semester? Well, this still remains to be seen, and I wouldn't be too surprised if it's not the case. Okay, still talking business, and I don't know if some of you guys heard of 11 James. That's a company whose goal was to rent watches to make it very short. Well, this company is apparently on a very difficult path since a few months, to say the least. So the initial idea may have sounded pretty nice on paper, meaning that for an annual member fee, and depending on the level of your subscription, you could get access to some pretty sweet watches for you to wear for a period of 3 months. So the company spent a lot of cash buying the inventory and developing its presence, but it seems that the company is now going down. So between a pretty original idea in a world where actual personal possession of any object is not necessarily as priority as before, well, maybe this found its limit when it comes to watches. Actually, I would be really interested in having your own views on this, so please don't hesitate to share your thoughts about renting watches. Personally, I prefer to buy my watches and keep all of them. And I just received a positive press release regarding Fortis. That's a brand started in 1912, but despite this history, well, we recently all thought it was going out of business, but they have now just found a new private ownership, which will enable them to continue to produce mainly aviation-inspired watches in the mid-segment price point of the market. So good luck to them. Good news and good luck to them. Okay, and now just a bit of short news regarding future things, because we heard that Vacheron Constantin will soon introduce a couple of novelties. Heuer is about to launch something pretty radical going by the trailer they shared with us. I'm feeling very excited about this, and MB&F should also be coming with some really super cool new things, and we know we can always expect something audacious and jaw-dropping by Max Bösse's team. We also know that a really nice name in watchmaking is making kind of a comeback. Ickepod, a brand which was highly regarded a few years ago for its distinctive design, but at the time their watches were priced pretty highly. But a new direction has been taken, focusing more on affordability and taking things, really step by step. Okay, I'm pretty sure we will see other new timepieces in September, and count on us to bring this to you during the next prime time. Okay, regarding other things to expect, well, on our side, I'm pretty excited to tell you that we have one of these really cool walkthrough videos coming your way, and because we went back to the Glashütte region and enjoyed a long and thorough visit of A. Lange and Söhne with Anthony de Haas, product development director of the famous German brand. So can't wait to share this with you, and be prepared, it's pretty long. And yes, we like to get out of Switzerland more and more, and along that line we recently spent some time in Russia to visit a guy I really appreciate for his original and creative approach, Konstantin Jaquet. We not only had time to visit extensively his facility, it was super interesting and will be part naturally of a full dedicated video report, but we also met our good Russian friends from Chronoscope, who gave me a pretty intensive lesson on Russian watch brands and history. Result of all this, I came back with this new watch, nothing too fancy but fun, as it is a revival of a model previously given to Russian cosmonauts. The name of the brand, and I have to concentrate to say this right, well, the name is Shturmansky. I hope I said it right, and this particular model is a special Yuri Gagarin limited edition watch, titanium case, and the twist is that it holds a Soviet-era mechanical hand-wound movement. So far, pretty reliable, and I simply find it pretty cool and fun. Well, next week we'll also be going to London to attend the first Horology Forum held there. This event is kind of a spin-off the Dubai Watch Week, same organizers and same education-oriented purpose, but Christie's is also involved as it will take place directly at the famous auctioneer's facility. And the good news for you guys is that there will be 3 panels held on the 11th of September, 3 other panels on the 12th of September, which will be live streamed on social media on the Instagram TV. You will find the link below for additional information on this, and I must say that I'm really excited to participate at this event. I'm pretty sure we'll witness and take part in some very inspiring discussions. And for those of you that are fan of wrist shots and contests at the same time, well, just wanted to remind you that we are partner of the Watch Photo Award monthly competition, and September is the last month, and you could win a nice weekend hotel stay in one of the Geneva 5-star hotels, so not bad. So this month's theme is food and wine, so up to you to share your best watch in situation photos. You can find all the details of this competition at watch-photo-award.com, link below, and good luck. And lastly, and very quickly, just wanted to share with you that the final selected watches of this year's Geneva Grand Prix de l'Horlogerie, the GPHG, that will take place in early November, well, the 6 competing watches per category have just been announced, and again, there's a few surprises, and we'll come back on this in the weeks to come. Okay, now it's time to stop. I hope you enjoyed this, and for our 7th anniversary, a massive welcome to TheWATCHES.club here in the Old Town of Geneva. I promise I will soon explain all the ins and outs of the club, and remember that this club is your club. Viva Watchmaking! Thanks so much to our patrons who really help make this possible. Thanks for watching and sharing. All the super best to you, and see you real soon.